telling you he's 17. Like, I wouldn't lie to you. Like, what sense does it make me lying to? But listen, whatever you're doing, it's a bad idea.
They use toys.
Pedophiles are usually detested by everyone in the society. They are people who are sexually attracted to children. Everybody on this planet vomits when you say the word pedophile. These people who are sexually attracted to children make you sick. We got you? No one. Even a police officer or court judge accepts their behavior. Or does someone do accept it? Imagine yourself being a cop and you catch your colleague in the heat of his pedophile life. Will you be able to accept him? Here in this video, we show you two cases when cops found out their colleagues were pedophiles with real footage. Watch until the end of this video to see which punishments these two filthy cops got. What do you think is more shocking? Catch your colleague cop with a juvenile in a motel room and leave them to other colleagues for interrogation, or being the one that does the interrogation? Let's find out. Starting with Ralph Shorty, who was an Oklahoma senator at that time, got caught in a motel room with a minor. On March 9, 2019, police officers received a report that a man had taken a juvenile boy with him into a motel room. Cops, after receiving the report, arrived at the scene and headed for the hotel door, hoping and silently pleading that the report was false. After reaching the door, they knocked on it. After several knocks, the door was opened up and the juvenile stepped out of the room. Then the focus of them was on the man who was in the room.
Hey, it's Moore Police Department, man. We just need to check on your welfare, make sure you're okay.
Come out before you get me worried. Show me your hands.
Okay.
Take a seat on the...
What's going on?
What's going on with you, man?
Just trying to have
A good time? Yeah? What's your name?
Ralph.
Ralph what?
Officers asked for his name, and one of the officers assumed that Ralph wasn't understanding the whole situation and what was actually happening there. They told him that he brought a 17-year boy with him to the motel room to have fun, and whatever he was planning on his mind is a bad idea.
Sorry guys, you're kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we do. He's 17. What do you mean, okay? Okay. But you got a 17-year-old hanging out with you, telling you he's 17. Like, I wouldn't lie to you. Like, what sense does it make me lying to? But listen, whatever you're doing, it's a bad idea.
Actually, they didn't know the true identity of the man that they were messing with. After a few days, Ralph was called out for a questioning session. And after the interaction, some twists turned around in the whole story. Ralph
Use toys.
Is there anyone else you communicate with on Snapchat?
Back then, no, just close friends and coworkers and stuff like that.
Ralph mentioned that he met the teenager in his coffee shop a year ago, and they became friends. He also stated that on the night of the incident, he decided to take the teenager to the motel after the teenager informed him that his roommates were drug junkies and said that he was trying to get clean. Ralph also claimed that he and the teenager usually communicated through phone calls, but he soon realized that the cops had a different story with them.
Well, how did y'all meet?
At the coffee shop. I'm pretty sure of that.
But what coffee shop are we talking?
That's my guy owned a coffee shop. It's called Holy Grounds Coffee.
Okay.
And the night that he called me, he said he just needed to get out of his house. I'm assuming I thought he had told me that he lived with some friends. And he had told me in the past that, it was hard for him to get clean because he was always with his friends that living with him.
He's come to your house several times to play video games?
I think just once.
Come to your house once to play video games, and then you guys met at the coffee shop a couple of times?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if I said that he told you guys met through a Craigslist ad the very first time, when he posted in Casual Encounters?
No.
Okay.
Ralph's response to that question was a clear sign that he wasn't expecting them to have that information, and it sent him into a great shock. And now the story turned to an unexpected twist that no one can ever even imagine. The juvenile responded to a classified personal section ad sorted by Ralph Shorty in Craigslist mentioning boy offering sex with his wife and also group sex with strangers. But Ralph's wife got pregnant after that, and as expected, he literally denied everything. But the detectives asked him one by one because they knew what actually happened, and also they got the evidence.
How old is your youngest child?
5 months.
Okay. So he's telling me that when he first met you through Craigslist that he had posted an ad in Casual Encounters, and that he had a lot of responses for it, but that you said that you wanted him to mess around with your wife while you watched. He said that he showed up to do that, or you guys got together and started talking about that. He found out your wife was pregnant, and then said that it never happened because she was pregnant.
The cops mentioned a name Jamie Tilley after that. Ralph told them that the boy used to call him Jamie and he didn't know why, but the cops came well prepared. They then said that they had a lengthy conversation of the boy and the so-called Jamie Tilley online.
Conversation that he says he had with you using an app called Kick. You know what that is? Okay. Well, there's a pretty lengthy conversation on his tablet that he says is with the guy. That is you. That he that is online, or the Kick ID is Jamie Tilley. And you told officers that night that that's what your online.
He called me Jamie,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not sure why.
Okay. We've got a conversation between him and this Jamie Tilley about, he says, I need money for spring break. Jamie Tilley says, I don't really have any legitimate things I need help with right now. Would you be interested in sexual stuff? He says, yes. This goes on about how I come get you, blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, I'll be down the street, a couple houses, in about 10 minutes or so. He says, okay, let me know so I have an idea. Then that person says, I-35 about to exit at 4th Street. And then it says, I'm here. Well, we've got a witness, pardon me, we've got a witness that sees him get in a white Grand Cherokee, and they follow that white Grand Cherokee to the hotel, Super Royal First to 4th and Eastern.
What actually happened behind was that the teenager was confronted by a female friend, whom he refused to tell where he was going. So, when the teenager got into Ralph's car, the female friend, now a witness, followed them to the motel. After they got into their room, she then called the teenager's dad, who in turn called the police. At this point, the cops had all the evidence they needed to put Ralph away, but still, they wanted one more thing from him: a confession.
Let's be here, not giving you an opportunity to set it straight and tell the truth.
It doesn't sound like anything I say is going to help.
Okay.
Prosecutors disclosed that Ralph had sex twice with this teenager before the night of the incident. On September 18, 2017, Ralph was sentenced to 15 years in prison and 10 years of supervised release. We asked you earlier what you think is more shocking. In this case, you saw how cops caught their pedophilic colleague in the act, but now we are going to watch how a colleague has to hear all the dirty details of the pedophilic cop. Good luck with not throwing up. The next one is Jalen Devin Fleer, who was a San Diego deputy who engaged in a sexual act with a 14-year-old girl. In April 2020, police received an anonymous tip that an officer, Jalen Devin, had engaged sexually with a minor. Jalen, unaware of the report, arrived at the county sheriff's jail where he worked and was invited to the interrogation room. He then only knew the unfortunate reality that awaited him.
We're actually doing an investigation on some allegations that we have to obviously look into. You're a law enforcement officer, so you know that we look into everything.
The detective then began questioning Jalen about his personal life. Jalen somehow started spilling personal information to the detectives, probably with the thought that they were insignificant and unimportant to the case with the minor. But little did he know that they would become a huge asset later on in the interrogation. The detective then asked about his email address and phone number used in Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. With seemingly innocent motives, the detectives now had Jalen's email address and phone number. But of course, it was clear that he was nervous, and that made sense because Jalen was also a police officer. So he knew that if he was in the interrogation room and wasn't the one asking questions, he was in for something big.
I hear your schedule recently changed. How do you feel about the schedule change?
Yeah. 12 and a half in a row. Kills you. 7 off is nice, but it flies by.
And I know when it comes to Facebook, you connect it to an email address. And then your Instagram account, what, same email?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And I know sometimes with Snapchat, they'll have you either sign up with a phone number or an email.
I believe it's my phone number.
Jalen asked, "What was this all about?" And the detective replied that it was for some allegations. Then they told him that they have a picture of someone that is familiar, and the picture was of Jalen when he was like 20 years old. Then they asked him if he had ever used this picture for any social media purposes. At that time, Jalen was like, yeah, I had sent it to my wife and to some other girls in Snapchat. He kept his eyes down to avoid the detective's gaze while answering questions.
I will ask what this is about.
Yeah, so we're looking into some allegations that were made. We're kind of, it started with a Crime Stopper report, so we're just kind of going from there. We did receive a picture that, when we looked into it, it looks similar to you. So I don't know if you can take a look at the picture and just tell me if you've seen this picture. So this picture right here.
Yeah, that's definitely me with the gross one.
Okay, so this picture right here, how old were you when it was taken?
I don't know, 20?
20? Have you ever used this picture on any social media site?
I think it was Snapchat back in the day, yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you ever shared this picture with anybody on Snapchat?
Yeah, probably with my wife, to be honest. Obviously I talked to other girls back in the day too, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Then they asked him if he had ever communicated with any other girls other than his wife and the people he already knew. They also asked if he communicated with any of them on Snapchat recently. He refused. Later, the detectives claimed that they got this picture with some additional information pointing to him. They also started to make some false claims in order to make Jalen come clean. But yeah, you know that he was a police officer for like a half a decade. He definitely knew how to handle this accordingly by remaining calm. But all rang alarms to the detectives that there was something he didn't want them to know. But then he quickly realized that they knew a lot more than he thought.
Up in connection with some allegations about you communicating with a younger female on Snapchat.
Okay.
Have you ever communicated with any females that we've already recognized that yes you have with your recruit from the past? Is there anyone else you've communicated with on Snapchat?
I mean, back then, no, just close friends and coworkers and stuff like that.
Anyone recently?
No.
Well, along with the photo came some additional information about your personal life.
Okay.
And based on some of the information you shared with me today, it seems to add up.
Okay.
So is there any reason why the person would say they're you and share your information?
Sounds like it'd be someone that knows me then, obviously. But I don't know who. I don't have any enemies that would be doing something like that.
Then the detectives told them that some additional information about his personal life, such as his work schedule, and more specifically, the 7 days on and the 7 days off, also came along with a username J178211, which was his Snapchat username combined with his name's first letter J, his baseball jersey number 117 in college and 82 in high school, and also 11, which stands for 2011, which was the year of graduation. On top of that, they told him that this username is linked to Jalen's email address and phone number.
Can I ask what information was shared? What they know?
We know that you're a baseball player.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people know that.
Yeah. So that information was kind of shared.
Okay.
Your work schedule.
It's been 5 years now I've worked here.
Specifically the transition to 7 days on, 7 days off.
Really? I haven't shared anything like that recently. I couldn't tell you who that would be.
I know as an athlete, sometimes when I would do my usernames and stuff, I would kind of use a combination of my things that I know about myself, right? So that way I wouldn't forget it. So this particular picture came from an account with this username, right? J178211. Okay. And I recognize that your jersey name in college was 17.
Yes, it was.
And then high school was 82. It was 11. 2011.
I never had 11.
No, as far as you graduated in 2011.
I did, yeah.
And it goes by J, and it is a Snapchat account that has some links to you.
Okay.
Okay. Jay, I'll be very honest. I want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, I never even heard of that account.
Okay.
After several questions, Jalen asked for a lawyer, although regrettably a little too late. The case involved 4 victims between the ages of 12 and 14. with prosecutors contending that there were more than 41 victims who couldn't be tracked down to verify their ages. Jalen pleaded guilty to 18 felony and 2 misdemeanor charges and was sentenced to 12 years in state prison. He screwed up. But still, it is a mystery that what actually happened between the minor and Jalen is not disclosed. The question of today, what do you think is more shocking? Catch your colleague cop with a juvenile in a motel room and leave them to other colleagues for interrogation, or being the one that does the interrogation? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked these cases, we are sure you will love these 2 videos as well. Subscribe to be part of our tribe and be the first to watch the newest interesting caught-on-camera cases.